Hey, welcome to another episode of After the Buzzer Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Jones. I got my guy, Marvin Orange, with me. What's up, Marv?
What's going on, Lee? What's good with you, brother?
I'm good. And look, we got by special popular demand. This is the man that's behind all of the graphics, the videos, but he's also a sports enthusiast. This is our guy, Cassius. We want everybody to give him a warm welcome. But hey, don't take it easy on him. Hey, what's up, Cash? What's happening?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, everybody? This is Cassius. I do all the background stuff. So I see the posts and I see everything, man. Look, y'all, don't take it easy on me. It's whatever. It's up in the air. Yeah.
I'm about to come extra hot, boy. We got Cassius on today. It's a special day.
Right. All of the great things that you see, videos, the graphics, the lower thirds, that's Cash's work. I mean, just excellent. But this guy think he knows basketball, football, and big-time Indianapolis Colts fan. So, you know, we'll see what he got coming. He's going to have to bring the fire. We got a great show today. We got some outstanding topics. We're going to talk about Deion Sanders. He had a press conference, didn't take questions from a CBS reporter. I need to get the guy's stance on that. Is that fair or foul, what Deion did? I want to get you guys' opinion and the audience's opinion. You know, what should the NFL do with the preseason, man? You know, all these preseason games are on. Are they good for the NFL? Do you like watching them? Is it a problem? What should the NFL do? How can they fix that or make that product better? Your thoughts on this, man? This is a big topic that I need to get the guys' opinion on. The Falcons said they're shutting down Michael Penix for the rest of the preseason. I mean, what's that all about? Do you guys agree with it? Disagree with it? Think it's a good idea? I mean, why would they do that when Penix is the backup? I want to get that. I want your thoughts on the new kickoff rule. You've had 2 weeks of that. I want to know, do you like it? Do you think it's here to stay? Is it just totally different? I want to get you guys' opinion on that. I want to get the top 5 coaches. This is going to be good right here. The top 5 coaches in the NFL coming into the 2024 season. And we're not going to put any parameters on what you think top 5 means, what skills they have, but I want your top 5 and I want the audience. And then we're going to finish up with this topic. Why all the hate towards Russell Wilson? I mean, every time you hear any of these national shows, it's always hate towards Russell Wilson. I have a Pittsburgh Steelers guy on. Maybe Marv can give us some insight because he likes that black and gold. So we're going to get started, man, and we're going to jump right into it. And the first topic I'm going to throw out is the Deion Sanders topic. Look, Cassius, you're a guest today, so we're going to jump in right in there with you. Deion didn't want to talk to the CBS reporter. Some past things that happened with the interaction with CBS. Wasn't this reporter, however, that he was didn't take the questions from. So what are your thoughts about him not taking the question from CBS and calling CBS out at the press conference, Cass? What do you think about that?
Well, from the backstory I got, they said CBS, basically Deion Sanders was upset that CBS had taken the story from a black reporter and gave it to a white reporter. And he had a lot of beef with CBS about that end. But on the back end, I heard today they actually squashed the beef. So, yeah. But like I said, Deion, he basically thought it was basically racial when he took the story from the black reporter, and he wasn't feeling that. And then you know how mess with Deion Sanders, he does have problems with the media currently. So yeah, and most people plus Marvin hates on Deion Sanders all the time. So you know, hey Marvin, I got to add you too because you're the media too, man. Hey, and I'm in the background and I hear so much hate going on Deion Sanders, and I'm like, I want to chime in, but I can't. So I'm like, but you know, Deion Sanders, he gets all the hate, but you know what? It's not well deserved because Deion Sanders, he's that guy, and he's just taking up for another black reporter. That's all.
Absolutely. Mark, what are your thoughts about it? You know, hey, there were reports today that they squashed it, but you know, overall, is it a good look to you know, you my guy? So is it a good look to shut down a reporter the way he did in that press conference? Holler at me, Mark.
So let me preface this by saying I know Cash has just started his diatribe with the fact that Deion Sanders is that guy. Okay.
He is that guy.
If we talking about 1990, 91 Atlanta Falcons, FSU on to Dallas, yes, Deion is that dude. But we talking about now Deion as the head football coach at the University of Colorado. He's not proven that he's that guy quite yet. Okay, so I got to push back on you a little bit, Cassius, right there. You know you my dude, man, but let's stop all the Deion about he that guy because he hadn't proven it yet. So, point number 2. Yeah, I'm again, I kind of said last week that I'm a Deion supporter. The only time that I hate on Deion is from a football aspect and whether he really can coach the game, right? That's my whole question about whether he is a good college football coach, a leader of young men. I don't question that, but I do get a little bit tired of it always being about Deion, right? He's got some great players. He's got some great young talent. Like, if you don't want to mess with CBS, man, just answer the question and keep it moving. I don't know if that's the area or the arena where you want to have beef with CBS, right? Because you are the leader of young men. That's something that you handle in the background. You got attorneys, you got everybody that can kind of handle that. If you want to squash that in the background, squash it. But you are a representative of a university. You're a representative of young men. Go ahead, answer the questions, man. Keep it moving and do what it is that you need to do. You're there to promote your university. You're there to promote your son, which you do a really good job of. Right, you're there to support your surrogate son, which you do a really good job of with Travis Hunter. So stop making it always about you. I know he's a consummate salesman, and I know y'all love that. I know you love the chain. I know you love the overalls he have on. I know you love the shades when he's talking to you man to man, but I can't even see your eyes. I mean, I get it. I know y'all. I know you kind of you love that about Deion. He's a salesman, but again, it's more than that. So if you got beef, handle that the way that you need to handle it, Deion, but not in front of everybody, because now it becomes about you. It becomes about digging into the past. It becomes about digging into your contract with CBS. It comes about all this other stuff that it doesn't really need about with the season being a week away. We should be concentrating on football. We should be concentrating on Sador and Travis being Heisman candidates. That's what we should be focusing on. And focusing on whether you really got Louis luggage this year or if you still got that Target luggage. That's what we need to be really focusing on. So that's where I stand on it, Lee. I know you're gonna be different, but go ahead, man. I'm gonna give you the platform.
Yeah, I mean the hate continues. As you know how Marv tried to do it. He tried to clean it up. I like Deion. He's this, that, or the other. Look, stop all the hate, Marv. Stop all the hate. Look, bottom line is this. This is what I'll say about Deion. I love the fact that he's sticking up for another brother that's in the press. This brother was doing a story with Deion. It was a story over a period of time, and then for whatever reason, unbeknown to Deion, he just gave it. They gave it to the white reporter. Now, what kind of crap is that? You didn't even tell Deion this was going to happen. You took it away from the black reporter. That's foul, Marv. That's foul. And I love the fact that Deion chose to go after the reporter in the space that's he needed to, doing a press conference. This brought on the attention to what CBS did, and you see today, CBS quickly reached out to squash the beef with Deion. And then what did Deion do? He cleaned it up in his press conference Friday by saying to that young man that was the reporter, I'm going to do a one-on-one interview with you. That was classy. That was prime time. That was Leon.
I got to
That's
stop.
what he done. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
If you was really about that life, right? Like if you was really about that life, Deion, and you talking about bringing it to a black reporter, taking it from the black reporter, giving it to the white, then say it. Like like Kevin Hart said, say it with your chest. He should have said it in the press conference. Then let it be known. Don't let people put words into your mouth and try to figure out what it really is about. Then you should have said it right then and there. You should have given them the idea that, hey, I don't like what CBS did, because you making it known already. You already making it known you got to beef with CBS. So if you that dude, and you that dude that wants to make it known, and you that guy that wants everybody to know that you don't like the business that CBS did. And Deion, you've been around business all your life. You know this is a business. We don't know what CBS had going on. But if he was about that life, you should have said it. I don't like the fact that they gave a story that I've been working on for X amount of years and gave people, insight into what our program was like. You should have said it right there. So we gonna give him a pass for not saying it?
No, come
We gonna
on,
give him a
Marv.
pass for not going ahead. If you calling the
Look,
guy out, if you calling the guy out right there, then call him out.
Marv, you
Don't
know,
half-ass it. Go on and say the
he
whole
was
thing.
calling out the entity of CBS. Go ahead, Cash. Give me a
no,
rebut, man.
but basically, I was just going to say the same thing. This is a business. Marv, you did just say this is a business. So basically, Deion has to go by it as a business. He just can't go all gangster with it because it's advertising dollars. So you got to basically go by it as a business. Come on, man. Marv, you know the game, man.
You went gangster with it when you said CBS. You went gangster with it when you said I'm not messing with CBS. He was just, like we said, he was just shrapnel. He was collateral damage. The guy that was reporting on it, he didn't go at him. He even prefaced it by saying, "I got no beef with you. I got beef with CBS." Then say what your beef is, Deion. Don't embarrass that guy that you got love for. Say, you know why I don't like you? You know I don't like CBS because I had a black reporter that had insight, that had, privilege to this story that they took away from him. That's why I got beef. Then say it. Go all in on it.
Maybe the black guy didn't want it out there like that, and Deion did the smooth prime time. Deion. Let me get some of these comments in.
And if it was the fifth, we'd all be drunk. We don't know.
Sandra Keaton, Deion has the right not to answer any question if he believes it's not necessary for his team. Beautiful. Vincent Lyon, completely agree, Marv. Don't embarrass the youngsters and the university like that. Take care of the personal beef offline. I hear you, Vincent. Sandra Keaton, that's why he didn't answer, because he didn't want to. Sandra Keaton, you're right, Lee. Miss Norma Orange. With you, Marv. Look, I'll say this. The fact that CBS so quickly squashed that beef and apologized and made it up to Deion tells me, because the reporter said it, Deion said it, and he started to engage with CBS again. That tells me that CBS was foul, they were out of line, and Deion handled it perfectly. He did it in a prime time way. I love how he did it. I love it. Because you ain't got to say, y'all disrespected the black guy, and you ain't got to do that. I don't mess with CBS. Y'all know what y'all did. Handle y'all business. Show me some respect and show that black guy some respect. I love it. Y'all keep the comments coming. Please like, subscribe, hit us up, tell a friend about it. We love this. Keep the comments going. Any last thoughts, Marv, on the primetime Deion Sanders situation?
I don't like a coach that makes it about him. That beef could have been squashed outside of a national media, calling a guy out, talking about he works for CBS. If he prime time, if he got the pull that you say he is, if he is a dude he could have handled that the way he wanted to, not in front of everybody, not bringing it out, not making it about himself, not up there with his shades on, doing what he does. He's a representative of the University of Colorado now, and his sons and all the players that he represents, not Deion Sanders. Let's keep that in mind.
Man, you sound like Suge Knight, man.
Go ahead, Cash.
I don't like dudes that dancing all in the videos. Cassius, he dancing all in the videos. I don't like that. You're right.
Cassius, last thoughts.
Last thoughts, man. The famous words of Deion Sanders, man, must be the money, man. He got to think about the money, man. Must be the money.
He might as well put that plum suit on up there and started shucking and jiving.
We talk about representing the university and the youngsters. I see that as having integrity, showing the young people that, look, you have to have integrity in this thing called business. I'm going to take on a corporation and say, I'm not fooling with you. I'm not the lonely little head coach of Colorado, but I'm not fooling with y'all. I'm showing my team, the youngsters on my team, this is how you handle it. I love what Deion Sanders did. I think keep on doing what you do, prime time, high stepping in the end zone. Let's go to our next topic. Y'all keep the comments coming. I love this. We're gonna keep getting y'all on. What's the preseason has started in the NFL? We've got 2 weeks in. Teams are resting a lot of starters. Some teams are playing a few. Most teams are resting the starters. Marv, what should the NFL do with the preseason? Or maybe they don't do anything because you pay full price for it. The NFL gets full a share of the marketing dollars for it. But now we do have some good crowds. So what do you think the preseason represents, and what should the NFL do with the preseason right now?
I mean, I think we all know the NFL is not going to do anything about the preseason. I mean, the preseason is a relic, right? It's a relic of what the NFL used to be. It started when the NFL used to have guys that had off-season jobs, right? so, so it's all about the money. It's about the revenue. And a lot of people don't understand, and some of you may not know, that if you're a season ticket holder in the NFL, part of the deal is that you have to have preseason as well, right? So you can't just buy regular season. Preseason is part of it. So that's a big part of it as well. And I think that a lot of people also don't realize, and I just know from guys who played in the league, that players aren't paid regularly in the preseason, right?
Right.
So when people get mad about not seeing starters and regulars in the preseason, there's a reason. They get a stipend. They're not being paid the way that their contract is contractually written out. So the preseason is always going to stay there because it's a moneymaker for the NFL. People are going to show up for games, but it's also a precursor to getting people ready for the regular season from people who work there, parking, concessions, all those things that kind of go on within a city in an NFL game. That's also part of it. It brings a lot of revenue into a city, and it makes a lot of money for the NFL. So I don't think they're going to do anything about it. I think it's going to continue to be the way it is. And then it's also a way for those third and fourth stringers, people fighting for roster spots, to get an opportunity to play in an NFL game. Most of them are going to be on practice squads, but we all know that the NFL is all about making money, and the preseason is not going anywhere because they make a lot of money from it.
Yeah, I'll say this, Mark. Great points about the people that work there, all the concessions people. And that's a great point, because I think sometimes the little people get lost in this shuffle when we talk about this $13-15 billion conglomerate corporation that's the NFL. So that's an excellent point. Cassie, before I let you go, you got your first shout out from Dr. O. She said, "It must be the money." She loved that. So come on. Go ahead, Dr. O. Get a boy a little shout out. We appreciate that. Dr. O. Cassius, what is your thoughts about the NFL, the preseason, and should they change it, or what should go now for the NFL?
Well, basically, Marv took all my points. I was like, wait a minute, he took my cheat sheet. I'm like, hey, but anyway, basically, like Marv says, basically like the ticket cost. The main thing, far as preseason, like he said, the teams they get full price for the cost of parking, food, tickets, and everything. So it's just basically the NFL is not going to change because they're still going to make money. The main thing is about making money, and they're getting free pay from the players, basically. So, and it's all about right now people who are trying to make the 53-man roster. So yeah, and the practice squad. So yeah, the main thing now is that players are trying to make the practice squad and the 53-man roster. That's the main thing and the main point of preseason right now, because most players are not playing. Because most starters, if not all starters, didn't play the second preseason game. I know the last game they're going to play. Go ahead.
Do you think, and I want to ask this to both of you, do you think not playing the starters the way they're doing that, and even more with 3 games, when do you get those starters prepared for the regular season? Cassie, we'll stay with you, and then I want to get your answer, Mark, because we're seeing teams now not playing their starters. I mean, I'm talking about their 22-man starters, none of the preseason games. So what are both of you guys' thoughts about that?
Well, I think basically that's the reason why they have like interplay. What do you call your interplay with other teams, just so they could just minimize injuries and stuff like that. I guess you can control injuries more versus preseason, because sometimes in interplay, where it's more just say it's just basically safety, because you're paying millions of dollars for players, and then you have a player just being out for the season on a meaningless play on a player who's not going to even make the roster, or who might make the roster on a player that's going to be valuable on the team. Is going to be ugly, because you're gonna it's all about need, and the team are thinking about need versus want. So.
Okay. Mark, what have you thought about all this resting of the players and players basically not playing, any of the preseason? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's preposterous. That we try to act like the players need the preseason to get ready for the season. Mm-hmm. This is a 24/7, 365 profession. Guys are getting ready in the off season, nutritionists studying film. Like the preseason is garbage, man. So let's not act like it's something that gets guys reps that they need to get ready for the regular season. That's what the first 2 games of the season is. Do we have preseason in college football? We don't. Does it hurt the product of college football? It absolutely doesn't. That's why they play a tune-up game, right? Like Alabama playing Western Kentucky or Clemson playing, Florida International, whatever the case may be. There's no preseason in college football. So why do we act like we got to have all these games in the NFL to get players ready to play when they don't even play? So let's just call it what it is. It is a money market scheme. I mean, this is what the NFL is. It's all about making money. You don't see the product isn't really good on that we see in these games either. So it is what it is. I mean, I take it for what it's worth. It's them making money. It's them getting prepared for the regular season. But I don't care if the starters don't play because I know they're gonna be ready when game 1 starts.
Let me catch up a couple of people. Baby Boy says preseason is a grand stage for players not getting much playing time in the regular season. I do agree with that. You're trying to round out your roster, right? And players need we can say all of this stuff about the inter squad game, but the speed of the game in a preseason game is different than anything that you can manufacture. So their Baby Boy had a good point because you cannot manufacture that speed of the game and how they're playing. Robert AJ, I agree with you, Marv. He went to the New Orleans Saints preseason game last week, and they had a crowd of 76,000. So, people are craving. Thank you, Mr. AJ, for saying that. People are craving football, man. They'll go see anything. If they had flags on and playing two-hand touch, they'll be up in there playing. And then Dr. O said players do not need preseason. This is a ridiculous concept now. Okay, I figure, Dr. O. Let me say this. And then Ms. Keaton, that's right, Marv, it's garbage. Let me say this. I do think you need some preseason games. I'm not a proponent of getting rid of the preseason altogether. I will say this. I think you'll see the NFL at some point within the next 3 years move to 18 regular season games and just 2 preseason games. I think that's something that's going to happen because the commissioner has even said it's the totality of the number of weeks that the season is as opposed to playing 3 preseason games and then going into the regular season. I'll push back on the day that they don't need. I think they do. The speed of the game cannot be controlled. I don't think those scrimmages are good because you get to go against other teams, but the speed of the game you cannot control. So I do think you need that, and I think the NFL, you don't want to go into the season not having preseason games because those early season games, when it comes down to playoff position and who makes the wild card and all that stuff matters. And so we don't want to give away that. So I do think there's a need for preseason. I just think the time is right for them to go to 18 games and go to 2 preseason games. Now, Marv, I know you're a safety guy, right? And I know what you're thinking right now is 18 games is putting that extra stress on their body. I don't want to speak for you, but I know that's how you think. What are your thoughts about if they went to 2 preseason games and went to 18 regular season games?
I think they're going to go to 18 regular season games, and I think they're going to keep the preseason the way that it is. I don't think that you're going to see I don't think you're going to see a change at all because, again, at the end of the day, this is about making money, and we try to put this veil over it like it's about guys making money. And Dr. O is making a very good point about the preseason. Like, these rosters are already done, right? People know who's going to make rosters. You might have about 5, 6. Maybe 10 at the most, the guys that are really fighting for a final roster spot. Let's just be real. First, second, and in most cases, third, it's already solidified because contractually it's already solidified with a lot of players. So they're not going to be going anywhere. So there's only a certain amount of roster spots that people are fighting for. So again, this really comes down about the NFL's greed, and we know the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, just like any other corporation like Amazon, and is in the business of making money. And that's what this is, veiled with the entertainment of guys going out there busting their heads and playing football to entertain us. That's what it is. So I don't see it changing at all, Lee. Just to answer your question, 18 games, same as the preseason. It is a product. It's entertainment. It makes a lot of money. It makes a lot of money for communities and cities and also the NFL. So I don't foresee it changing at all.
Let me get in what Doctor said. I have a feeling that the rosters are rounded out before the preseason game. I may be wrong, but I don't know what the stats are on how the preseason made or break a roster. They know before the preseason. I'll say this: I think you're right. 40, 45, 47 players on that 53 is there, but you got to look at this. They have 90 players in camp, right? They have 90 players. So you're trying to round out that other six Marv that's going to be on the 53, but then you're trying to get 12 practice squad players. So there is, like I said, you have to see those guys in real game time speed, real game time situations, trying to see if they're special teams guys, who's going to back up and all of that. So I think there's a need. And the other thing, they if they go to 18, they can't play 3 because there's a set number of weeks in that season. I just think 18 and 2 might work out. Last thoughts, Cassius, what do you have as far as the preseason and what the NFL should do?
Basically, it's all, well, like with me, since me playing football, it's all about safety with me. So I don't think they should go 17, but I know they're going to go 17. That's the reason why I guess they're trying to
18,
implement.
18.
Well, yeah, my bad. Yeah, 18. I think that's the reason why they're trying to implement the new helmets. They're having to, I guess, to pin down on the concussion protocol and stuff like that. So with me, like I say, it's all about money, and like Marvin says, it's a money grab and it's garbage. So, but hey,
Well,
we love football.
Cash,
We love football though.
Cash is to that point. What you just said, I think, is a really good point. I think it might be a valuable discussion for us later on in another show when you talk about the new helmets. Yeah. I don't know if it's really about safety. It's really more about the lawsuits. Okay, it's really more about what the NFL is doing to try to mitigate some of the lawsuits and the things that are going on that they're getting from former players. So I think that's an interesting conversation for another show. Because look, the NFL has never really been about safety. I mean, we can look at some of the rules that they've made. We're going to talk about the kickoff, and we can talk about the drop tackle and some of these ridiculous rules that they've made. I mean, but when you look at the NFL, Cassius and Lee, what do we see? It's not about dudes making safe hits. It's not about, the proper tackling. It's about dudes getting their head knocked off. I mean, that's the way they promote this league. So let's not act like it's anything different. But I don't want to get too far off topic here, but I think that's a good one for another day.
Yeah.
I will say this about safety. I mean, professional football is as safe as it's ever been in the history of football right now. You look at they just took out the drop tackle that I think you just referenced, Marv. You can't hit anybody going over the middle. Hell, you can't even go in at the quarterback's knees. I mean, so this is safe. I think they've tried to mitigate safety. It's a collision sport, though, man. It's going to happen, and so we have to just take that into consideration. But safety has to be paramount. I think that playing another game. And look, I didn't play in the league, but playing another game is not the end of the world for those players if they can get their percentage points to move on the collective bargaining agreement. You know what I'm saying? If they right now, I think they get 48%. Let's say they can get up to 49, 51, 49. Then I think it's valuable for the league in general to play that extra game. Marv, stand on that. Players not playing. The Atlanta Falcons came up with this notion this past weekend that they're not playing, and I definitely want to get some people to chime in on this. Michael Penix, the number one pick, anymore in the preseason. Now, he played one game. He looked very good. I'm a University of Washington grad. I've watched him play every game at Washington. But that's sort of unorthodox when you have a Kirk Cousins that's going to be your starter and Penix is your backup. What are your thoughts about it? What is Atlanta doing, and what is Raheem Morris in specific doing with this move that he's doing with Michael Penix?
I think Raheem Morris said it well. He said, we know what we have in him. We've spent plenty of time watching him. We've evaluated him. We watched him in practice. We watched him at Washington. We saw him in a preseason game. So what is the value in it, right? We know he's not the starter. We know Kirk Cousins is a starter. We know what value we have. He's a commodity, just like any other player in this league. we need to protect our commodity, especially considering his injury history. So what do you get from playing him in multiple preseason games besides what we already know? The fact that he can sling it, the fact that he's very accurate, and the fact that he's a high-level quarterback. So what is it that we're gaining from playing him in multiple games? I agree with him 100%. I don't see the upside in playing him in multiple preseason games when he's not the starter, when he's not going to get really a lot of valuable minutes unless Kirk Cousins goes down. And Lee, there's a misconception that these preseason games really add a lot of value to players coming into the regular season, in my opinion, because these guys have been playing football all their life. Yes, there is a major difference between NFL windows and college windows. But if Raheem Morris and the Atlanta Falcons coaching staff is telling me that they've seen enough to know that if Kirk Cousins goes down, he's a dude that can get us to where we need to be, then I'm going to trust that, right? And I don't know what any preseason game playing against third, fourth, fifth stringers that are trying to make a practice squad is going to tell you any more than what you already know about who Michael Penix Jr. is as a quarterback. So I'm in complete agreement with this. Shut his ass down. We know his injury history. He is a commodity. He is the future of your franchise. We all know that. I think all of us can agree on that. Shut it down, man. Stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cash, what are your thoughts about Penix not playing the rest of the preseason?
Basically, I'm piggybacking on Marv, man. Look, he's basically saying what I'm saying. Look, we just pointed out preseason is not that important. And we're talking about a guy who just had 104 yards and 10 points on drives when he played in his preseason game. And basically, like Marv said, his injury history, and then you just see J.J. McCarthy, he's out for the season for a preseason game. So, yeah, it's basically like, a meniscus tear. Hey, you know what? He's too valuable because just think how many times Kirk Cousins has been injured during the season. Bet money he's going to play this year. Penix is going to play this year, and I bet money he's going to start this year. Kirk Cousins, he's not that guy.
And before you go, Lee, because I know you want to chime in real quick, Cash has made a beautiful point, because last week on the show when we were kind of talking, or previous weeks when I talked about J.J. McCarthy being kind of my underdog pick for Rookie of the Year, this is why preseason doesn't really matter, because there's nothing good that you gain from it, right? You drafted a guy in a position because you know what value he has and what he's probably going to bring. Sure, there are busts all over the place, but the preseason doesn't determine a bust. Look at Mitchell Trubisky. Look, I mean, we can go down a number of players that have been busts, throughout NFL over the past few years and tore it up in preseason. So J.J. McCarthy's out. And I said, and I think we all thought that he probably would end up starting at a certain point, because we know who Sam Darnold is. We know he's not a franchise quarterback anymore at this point. So that's a great point, Cash. It's like, what is the upside of continuing to play a first-round draft choice in the preseason against guys who are trying to prove a point that they belong in the NFL and going all out, and you losing the commodity that you just invested a lot of money in? I just don't see the point.
Okay. Vincent Lyons don't need to play Penix because they're being very cautious. If Cousins gets hurt, they know he is ready if Cousins goes down. Dr. O agrees with Vincent, Marv, and Cassius. It's great. It's great. Y'all make some great sense. I think it's very, you thought it out very well. But to quote my man Bubba Dub, y'all's take is trash. Yeah, look. How in the world? Come on, guys. Stop it. Look, Michael Penix played at Washington. Did y'all see the Alabama game? I mean, not the Alabama game, but the Michigan game. When
you got Alabama all the time.
Oh man, forget Alabama. I hate them. Anyway, did y'all see the game against Michigan and how Michigan put pressure on Penix? Look.
Hold on, Lee. Before you make a point, I don't want to. I got to cut you off here. Michigan did that to everybody last year. Let's stop acting like Michigan. Michigan did that to everybody they played last year. That defense was elite. The coaching was elite on that defense. Don't take one game that they did to everybody all year and try to make your case that Michael Penix Jr. needs a preseason in the NFL. That defense was elite, and we all know it.
He needs to play. He needs to play with the speed of the NFL game. What are you talking about? This is not about them doing this all. It's about him playing with the first team. They should start if they want to set Cousins, starting with the starters. Let him get the feel for the speed of the game with the receivers. Of course, he needs to play. He has to be to Vincent's point, but I have to reverse that. He has to be ready to play if Cousins goes down. He certainly needs to play. I love Raheem Morris. I'm rooting for those guys. This is a mistake. Let that man play and start in another preseason game. Get those reps with the first team. The man played what? A half of football, and now you're going to shut him down. This is not a good look for Michael Penix and the Atlanta Falcons. He needs to be out there playing. This is not good. And look, people get hurt. Football is a physical game. People get hurt. So we can't say we're going to put him in an eggshell and don't crack it. Let the man play. The bottom line is he needs to get those reps. Marv, you said it, tighter windows in the NFL, having to make all the throws, having to read defenses. He needs that work. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. He needs to play.
But you know this better than anybody, Lee. Cash, I'm going to let you go on one say. Lee, you know this better than anybody. As Steve Sarkisian said, some of the best offensive minds in football said, every quarterback has a package that allows them to get comfortable within the confines of a football game, right? So for you to act like that the preseason, and like I said, guys that'll never see an NFL field is going to get him prepared for what he's going to see in a regular season. That's what coaching is for. Coaching allows him to get himself comfortable and acclimated to games when you put package specifically for his skill set in a football game. That's what coaching is, right? Not a preseason against the 58th guy that's going to play on a practice squad. That's getting him nothing but the ability to get hurt and get injured. Go ahead, Cash. I'm sorry.
And that's the point I was going to make. Lee, you said it yourself. Right now, how often are the starters playing in the preseason? So how many snaps is he going to get with the starters? You're answering your own question. The starter's not playing that much, and then Kirk Cousins actually has to start too and get minutes. So make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Look, starters are playing a quarter and a half. Some of them play up through the half. You have to get him, and even if the starters are not, you have to get his rhythm and timing in an NFL fashion. There's not a college football game in America that has ever been played that the speed of the game is similar to an NFL game. Not one college game ever that has been played. I don't care if it's Alabama against Georgia. That's nothing, because you see all of these Alabama players come in and can't excel in the NFL. That it's not the same. You need the reps in a live NFL action, and he's not getting that. That's a mistake. Go ahead, Mark.
So let me ask you this, Lee. In the preseason game he did play, what did he look like?
He looked pretty good. He didn't look great. He missed some throws. His timing was off some. He needs the reps. He looked good enough.
He looked good enough to let you know that he's an NFL quarterback and he's our future. So we're gonna sit his ass down and we gonna play the guy that we paid all this money to. We're gonna let him learn. There is no value gained in allowing him to sit out there and throw darts against guys that'll never see a damn NFL snap.
Thank you. Oh my God.
He's not playing against those guys. You can get him real-time action against starters or even second-teamers. That's still better than what you're seeing.
We just said those guys aren't playing in preseason, Lee. They're not playing in preseason.
No. He needs the reps. Let's go to some Sandra Keaton. Michigan was shutting down everybody. But this is not a Michigan thing. This is about the speed of the game in the NFL. Robert Agee, I agree with you. He needs to play. He certainly needs to play. This is a mistake because let's say this. He's one play away from being the starter on week 1 for the Atlanta Falcons. He has to be ready to come in there. I love Michael Penix. I love him. I thought he was the best. He throws the ball better than anybody in the draft that is coming in. hands down. But he needs those reps to make sure that he's ready to play on day one should Cousins go down. This is a mistake by Raheem Morris, and I root for the brother, but this is not good. You have to play that man and get him some more reps on the field. Great comments. Y'all keep the comments coming. Miss Norma Owen said, great point, Marv. That's right, Marv. You got a cheering section. I'm sorry, y'all. That is not that man has to play. That man has to play.
Great point,
Raheem
Marv.
Morris, don't do that. You're making a mistake, and this could set you back with this man not being ready to play. Let's go to our next topic. The NFL kickoff rule. Cassius, I'm gonna start with you first on this one. You've seen it now for 2 weeks. It's different. The alignment is different. You can't touch the ball until the receiver catches it or touches it or it bounces. And you've seen what the NFL is trying to do is cut down on some of those high-speed collisions. But what is your thought about what you're seeing, how it's going to affect the game, and do you think that's something that's here to stay?
It's going to be something here to stay because I guess like Marv says, it's all about getting sued in the long run. So, because they would say it's about safety, but it's about being sued in the long run. And it's going to make the game more exciting far as collision-wise, but it's going to make the game more exciting because I pulled up a clip because most people don't understand the actual rules that's being implemented with the new kickoff rule because it's the new video out. It's right here. It's basically the ball had went in the end zone. Previously, this would be a touchback, and the actual referees called it a touchback. But when they went up to the booth in New York, they called it a safety. And it's just basically like now, most teams are going to have to basically know the rules in and out on the new kickoff rules and stuff like that. But like I said, if you're going to have a good speedster in the back, it's going to make kickoffs like exciting back when Deion and who's some good kickoff returners. It's going to make
Evan Hester.
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson right now with the
some of those City, Dante Hall.
Yeah, so it's basically it's going to help to give people who good speedsters a good name out there. So basically they can get the bag because they can get the good return game in as far as new kickoff rules. So yeah, it's going to help out a lot of people in the long run.
So for those that don't know, before I go to Marv, if the ball is kicked into the end zone now, let's say that the kicker kicks it into the end zone, the ball comes out to the 40-yard line. So if there's incentive for them to keep the ball in play. Yeah. The kickoff team lines up at the 40. They line up at the 30, and nobody can move until it's touched. Nobody can move till it touched. If what happened with that clip that Cassius showed, the ball never went. It went down on the 1-yard line. He got it and kneeled down in the end zone. That's a safety, man. Last year he could have done that, and they would have brought that ball out to the 20, 25. So 25-yard line. So Marv, what is your thoughts about it? Do you think it's here to stay, Marv? Do you think that it's going to be more exciting once the regular season come in? Do you think it's doing what was intended, more safety to the game? What are your thoughts, Marv?
Yeah, I agree with Cassius though. I think there is definitely a safety element to this, but also let's just be real. I think that there's going to be more excitement to the NFL instead of going to the bathroom or getting another drink or grabbing another beer. You're gonna sit back to see what kind of happens. It's gonna add another element to the game. Yeah. And let's just be real. It's kind of like the NFL preseason we was talking about earlier. The kickoff had become archaic, right? I think 90% of the kickoffs had resulted in touchbacks. It was just very predictable. Guys weren't really, putting their careers on the line to return kicks anymore. You had guys you never even heard of back there returning kicks. To your point, Cash, just like back in the day, and even you, Lee, remember when Deion would get it was a show every damn time. When Deion was back there, he put that hand up and he started doing his thing, and we got away from that. So I like the rule. I think it's going to add a lot more to the game. It's going to add more excitement. And the biggest point that we all know, offense and excitement, wins games, and it also creates viewership. And I think it's going to add a lot more scoring to the NFL. To your point, Lee, about getting the ball at the 40-yard line and some of the other things about this rule, it's going to add a lot more scoring to the game. So I like the new rule, and I think it's going to be really good for the NFL, and it's going to add another element of excitement to the game.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. I think that safety-wise, it's tremendous. You just don't have those 40-yard, two grown men, 250 pounds coming at each other and colliding. And so from a safety perspective, I think the league will get what they want. But I think even because in the preseason, I don't think teams have shown what they're going to do when the regular season starts out. So I think you're going to see some big returns. I think you're going to see some gadget stuff on the returns, throwbacks and things of that nature. So I like it. I think by the pure nature, Marv, you said it. Last year, 90% of the kickoffs were touchbacks. I mean, nobody wants to see that. We want some excitement in the game. That brings an extra element of a player that's shifty, that can run these kickoffs back. And so I think it's a big part of what the NFL envisions going forward. And I think it's going to stay because I think during the regular season, you're going to see some big returns, but the thing is going to cut down on concussions and things of that nature so they can put out those statistics about them making the game more safer overall. Yep. And that's going to be a good thing for the NFL. So I agree with everything you guys said. I think this is here to stay. And I think you're going to see some more excitement. You haven't seen much in the preseason yet, but I think you're going to see some more as the season goes on.
Lee, I think you made the best point right there. I think it's the best of both worlds for them. That's an excellent point about not only being able to have the metrics and the statistics about making the game safer, but also add more excitement to it. That's an excellent point, man.
Absolutely. Let's go to our next topic. We want to get these last two in, and I definitely want to hear this. This is my best topic of the day, and I certainly want the audience to chime in because I want to know from you, both you, Cassius, you, Marv, and the audience, who is the top 5 coaches in the NFL going into the 2024 season, right? Give me your top 5. Whatever. I don't care what your criteria are. You can have whatever, offensive minded, Super Bowl caliber, Super Bowl wins, whatever, offensive genius, whatever it is. I need to get your top 5 NFL coaches coming into the 2025 season. And let's start with our guest, Cassius. Cassius, give it to us, man. Tell me what you think. Tell us who your top 5 is, man.
Oh, man, look. Hey, you already know number 1 is going to be. My number 1 is going to be Andy Reid, hands down. Andy Reid has the armware, the rings, the show for it, that's saying he is the number 1 person on the list. And then my next person, my guy Mike Tomlin. Look, this man can make he can make muffins out of mud, man. So hey, look, this dude has been he's been a hellified coach for this many years, and he has not had anything since Big Ben. And he still is making the playoffs. Look, dude is he man. Look, he's a go-getter and he's a motivator. And look, and my next coach, I say, I'm gonna have to go with my guy, Mr. Harbaugh himself. Not Jim Harbaugh, not the new one. I'm talking about the old one, man, with the other brother. So I'm gonna have to go with John Harbaugh. I'm gonna have to go with him, man. Look, because he has been doing the same thing. Basically, he's been taking teams, even though they have had Jackson, but as far as other weapons, they haven't had that. So, but they have some this year, but in the past, they haven't had any good weapons. But in my number 4. I'm gonna have to go with Mike McDaniel from the Dolphins. The Dolphins, yeah. And you know what? On my last one, man, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm a Colts fan. So, hey, Lee already know I'm a Colts fan, so I'm gonna go with the Colts head coach, man. Look, you already know who he is. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and go the old Eagles head coach, the mastermind that made their quarterback who he is today. And look, I'm gonna go with the Colts head coach, and that's how I'm gonna do my list.
Shane Steichen, huh? Somebody in there one year. Okay, I get it.
Man,
look.
Look.
He been in the Super Bowl, but Cassius, quit being a homer. We don't accept homers on this show. Go ahead, Marv. Give me your top 5.
Wait, hold on.
Hey, Cassius.
Hold on. Did you hear what you just said? They don't accept homers, so. Go ahead.
Yeah, Cassius, keep that in mind now.
Yes.
Let's keep what he just said in mind. So
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna start. I'm gonna start from 5 to go to 1 because everybody should have the same number 1. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion. My number 1 is Andy Reid. Enough
Mm-hmm.
said. We know what the deal is there. So number 5 to me, I got some. I got 2 guys that I'm putting at 5. Right. I'm putting Kyle Shanahan at 5,
Mm.
and along with D'Amico Ryans. I think D'Amico Ryans is an up and comer.
I
The
forgot.
culture, the way that he
Mm-hmm.
changed that Houston Texans team, and what he was able to do with a rookie a quarterback, and they got some pieces. Like I think he is really one to watch coming up with the next few years. So those are my 2 honorable mentions, my 2 number 5s. Number 4, I'm gonna definitely go with John Harbaugh. I think he's an excellent coach. I think he deserves to be there. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's led his team to multiple double-digit wins. So John Harbaugh is in the conversation. Me number 3 for me is going to be Sean McVay. I mean, you can say what you want to say about Sean McVay, but 5 out of 7 seasons, he's got a Super Bowl win. He's got double-digit wins in 5 or 7 years in LA. I mean, you may not like him. Some people say too young, he too GQ, whatever the case may be. But the dude can coach football. I got to give it to him. So I'm going to put Sean McVay there. Of course, I'm going to be a homer. Mike Tomlin to me is number 2. It's just hard to say that Mike Tomlin isn't a good football coach. And I think you said it best, Cash, is with what he's had to deal with since Ben has been gone, and the struggles that we've had. We can go down the list about some of the struggles that the Steelers have had, but they've always found ways to win games. They've always found ways to make the playoffs, whether it be wild card. And that comes down to coaching. That comes down to being leader of men. That comes down to having men in the locker room that believe in your vision and believe in what you're trying to put forth. And you only get that way from being led by a really, really good coach. So Mike Tomlin is 2, and of course Andy Reid again, number 1 for me.
Gotcha.
Nice list, Marv. I mean,
Good
we asked
list.
for 5. You gave us 6. I mean, I don't know what's going on, Cassius. He gives us 6. You a homer, Marv a homer with Tomlin. Look, the thing about me, you're always going to get the truth, okay? You're going to get the truth. Now, I will say this, and I'm going to start out like this. Now, I'll give the Cowboys coach, Mike McCarthy, a lot of credit. He's the second, and I want everybody to hear me, he's the second winningest coach over the last 3 years, second to only Andy Reid with the number of wins. That should automatically make you number 2. In my opinion, that should automatically make you number 2. But I'm not going to go there because I have to be honest in everything that I do. So I'm going to give you my top 5, Marv, not top 6, not top 7, okay? My number 5 is Sean McVay. I think you made great points about Sean McVay, 1-1 in Super Bowls. Marv, he's won 60% of his games. He has a 70-45 regular season record, and he has a 7-4 playoff record, 1-1 in Super Bowls. So that's my number 5, Sean McVay. I think he's an offensive mind. I love his sets, his motions, how he schemes people open. So my number 5 is Sean McVay. My number 4 is Jim Harbaugh. Now, the reason I say Jim Harbaugh is because I didn't say he's in the league now. Remember, Jim Harbaugh's record in the NFL is 44-19-1. 44-19-1. He took San Francisco to 3 straight NFC championships and 1 Super Bowl in 4 years, okay? That's enough said. The man, if you look at all of the coaches, he has won 67% of his NFL game. That's the highest of all of the active coaches except for Andy, including Andy Reid right now. So I put him at number 4. Plus, he's won a national championship. I have to give Jim Harbaugh. I think he's going to do wonders with the Chargers. He's going to run the ball more, which will make Justin Herbert a better quarterback. That's my number 4. My number 3 coach is Mike Tomlin. Now, I didn't put him all the way up to number 2 like a Marv would. That was a homer pick, but I will give him credit. Never had a losing season. He's won 63% of his games, 173 and 100. While I knock him down a little bit, he's only 8-10 in the playoffs. That's knocking him down. And if he doesn't advance in the playoffs this year, he has to come down some. 1-0 in Super Bowl. So I give it my number 2 coach, John Harbaugh for the Baltimore Ravens. I like John Harbaugh. Won 62% of his games, 160-99. He's 12-10 in the playoffs, 1-0 in Super Bowls. Look, We all know Lamar Jackson saved his job. He was on his way out before Lamar Jackson got there. But I love the culture that he has. They keep drafting well. A lot of it has to do with Ozzie Newsome, but they keep drafting well. I like John Harbaugh for number 2. And then I agree with everybody. I give it to Andy Reid as the number 1. Enough being said, 3 Super Bowls and what he's doing. Here and Patrick Mahomes and those crew, I give him the number 1 slot. Again, I'm not a homer. I'm not. People might call me Dallas is, but I'm always truthful about my Cowboys. So y'all can always rest assured when I talk about the Cowboys, it's truth. It's not fiction. I talk back. That's all I want to say. Any questions?
Just for all you listeners out there, he said a really important name that I know he gave a little side credit to when he said Ozzie Newsome, but we all know Ozzie Newsome is University of Alabama product, so I just had to make sure that I added that too. Roll Tide, Ozzie.
I can't wait till the season starts. When the Tide start losing, Marv's gonna be crying on here. Any comments about any one of our list caches before we move on to our last topic? Any comments about the list?
No, both of you have great list. Only thing I had objection to is you just said you being truthful about the Cowboys, man. Look, hey, man.
Always.
Hey, Lee, hey.
He's not being truthful.
He not being truthful at all, man. Hey, Lee, man, hey, it's okay, man. They have counseling for Cowboy fans like you, man.
People would have thought that I would have put McCarthy in there, but I have to grade. He's the second winningest coach in the last 3 years, 12 wins a season. But I knocked him down for the playoff success. That's the kind of guy I am.
You had no choice. You would have lost all credibility if you put him anywhere in the top 5.
For real.
You really had no choice. And I really actually got a question. I really actually got a question Jim Harbaugh too, but I'm gonna let that slide right now because we really need to get to the next topic. But that's one that's a little questionable.
All right, real quick, baby boy, Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. I don't like this is what I say on Kyle Shanahan, and y'all know how I feel about Kyle Shanahan. A great offensive mind. He chokes too much for me. Chokes. Super Bowl with Atlanta and Peter choked. The last 2 Super Bowls, he choking. I don't think that's a great coach. You're choking in the biggest of games.
Wait a minute. You just contradicted everything you just said.
No, I did not.
Wait.
You don't like chokers? You just said chokers. Did I maybe my earpiece is messed up when you said you don't like chokers because I know you're a Cowboys fan, so I don't even know how that don't even correlate to me.
Exactly.
So you gotta like chokers in some respect.
Exactly.
No, I don't. I like America's team, but I don't like chokers. You get there, you need to win these games. And Kyle Shanahan doesn't win the big one, and that's why I can't put him in the top 5. As a matter of fact, Kyle Shanahan, I did have him at number 6, if you wanted to know. And D'Amico Ryans, I had him at number 9. I love the culture change. He was 10-7 last year, so I can't give him that bump. Other couple of ones I had in my top 10, Matt LaFleur, and then I did have Mike McCarthy at number 10, just so you guys know. Let's go into this last topic.
Oh, my God.
Let's go to this last topic. And guys, if you have a list, please put it up there. We love to hear from you. So Marv, you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And I had to, I need to hear from a guy that's a Steeler fan. And then Cassius, you chime in. I just got one question. Why all the hate for Russell Wilson? Why all the hate? And please, I want the audience to chime in. Tell me, why all the hate? Is it because of Sierra? Is it because he's a clean-cut guy? What is it? Why all the hate for Russell Wilson? Marv, the floor is yours.
I mean, I don't get into all that type stuff. I just get into to winning and losing football games, and my most recent data tells me in that preseason game last night that the Steelers might have a problem. Okay. Now, if you want to kind of go back to why all the hate, the real hate, go ask some of his teammates, because a lot of his teammates have come on the record about Russell Wilson as a teammate and who he is as a teammate. So I think they might be better sources than me, and it's plenty of stuff out there about why he was a really, really bad teammate in Seattle. So I think that's why you see a lot of hate when it comes to Russell Wilson. But Lee, they know better than you do. You didn't suit up with him. I didn't suit up with him. I'm going on what people who played with him and suited up with him said. So I think they might be a little bit more of a reliable source when it comes to who Russell Wilson is as a teammate, as a leader, than any of us. So I'm gonna go on what they said. But I think that what I saw last night from a player standpoint is why Denver was okay with getting rid of him and still paying him, because Russell Wilson went back to what we saw in the Denver, and what the head coach was so infuriated about, and I saw it last night. You holding the ball too damn long, and he's and it makes me believe that maybe the game has passed Russell Wilson by. The way that he quarterbacks and his style of quarterbacking may not be a fit in the NFL in today's NFL. So I'm a little bit alarmed by it. I'm alarmed by all these high drive picks the Steelers have with the offensive line. There's an issue there. Maybe the coach needs to go. But Russell doesn't look good. Okay, he's 35 years old. The NFL and the game may have passed him by, and his style of play may not be conducive anymore. And we all know that a lot of guys don't vibe with his leadership. They think he's corny. He is a little bit corny. Okay, let's just be real. He's a little corny. And I'm only going on what some of his teammates said, but I think he's corny too. But I'm a little bit alarmed on what I saw, and you might need to go ahead and just say we need to ride or die with Justin Fields, because what I saw from Russell, it's not a good sign.
Wow. Cassius, go ahead, Cassius.
Man, Marv, you know what? I'm not gonna just put all that on Russell Wilson. Look, y'all offensive line is horrendous.
Trash.
I don't care if the top quarterback in the league was playing for the Steelers right now. He would look terrible behind the offensive line.
Thank you.
Point blank.
Maybe that's why Justin Fields has to play.
hey, no.
That might be why Justin Fields has to play.
Man, look, I'm just saying, man, Pittsburgh, like I said, they have a good scheme, but they don't have the players to produce on the scheme. That's basically just what it is. Russell Wilson, Fields, don't matter who's going to be behind the center, they're going to look terrible right now. So, but I guess, but they're going to do what the Steelers always do at the end of the season. They're going to eventually figure it out halfway, and then they're going to eventually make the playoff on the big win on the last 2 or 3 games of the season, and like they always do, because it's the Steelers. So yeah, then Marvin, they're gonna be crying about, look, we need to fire Tomlin. Then Mike Tomlin win the playoff game. Now you can't fire Tomlin. He's the most valuable player on the team. So yeah.
Go ahead, Marv.
Before you go, Lee, to close the show out. I mean, maybe everything that everybody was saying in Seattle is what we should be really listening to. And the fact that ever since he's left Seattle in that controlled environment and that great defense that he had, and he didn't have to win football games, maybe he got more credit than he really did deserve. And I think that's what a lot of guys say. And I think a lot of guys say that he wasn't the leader that you thought he was. The defense led those teams, and they led them to kind of who they were and the identity of that franchise. And you saw it ever since he's left Seattle. He wasn't good in Denver. He was decent. He was decent with basically what he had around, but he wasn't Hall of Fame good.
Come on, Marvin.
And now what we're seeing in Pittsburgh is kind of the same.
Come on, Marv. Denver was trash, man. Come on now, man. You just can't.
I want to get a few people in before we get out of here. And I want to say something. Look, Serenade Fields says the reason. I think there's some validity to that. Dr. O, she don't think she's a factor. His teammates have spoken out against who he is. Sierra's not a factor. Norma Orange, I agree with Marv. Serenade Fields, if he doesn't play well this season, will it be the end? I think if he has a down year, it might be the end. Dr. O, he's not corny. That is subjective, but I do think the game has changed. And like you said, the line is awful. Absolutely. Benton Lions, Fields will have to be the quarterback. Serenade, good point. Marv, Dr. O, 35 is older. I guess you did get a bit corny when you get that age, even if you think you're cool. I think I'm
always been corny, Dr. O.
Young people keep telling me you're corny. Look, let me say this. Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. I love his energy. And let me say this. Go look this up. Who has the most touchdown passes in the NFL the
Come
last
on
5
with the
years?
stats,
It's
man.
Russell Wilson.
Stop with the stats, Lee.
Who has the most touchdown
We
passes
talk about
the last
production at
5
this
years
point,
in
man.
the NFL? It's
Can the man
Russell
win
Wilson.
win a football
The man
game?
was corny. Y'all keep calling him corny, but he over the last 5 years, he has more touchdown passes than anybody in the league. Couple of things. I'm gonna be quick about this. You look at Trevor Lawrence, 21 TDs, 14 interceptions last year. You look at Josh Allen, 29 touchdowns, 18 interceptions last year. The whole Pittsburgh team, 13 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Russell Wilson had 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions last year, but y'all are calling him trash. Give me a break. The other thing I'll say, Broderick Jones is terrible. Your right tackle stunk last night, and you blamed it on Russell Wilson. How can you do that? Justin Fields.
Hey, hold on, man. Hold on. Before you go there talking about he trash, he went 8 for 11. He averaged 4.7 yards per pass. Stop acting like it was all the right tackle. There are check downs in the NFL. Okay, so all his yards came from check downs yesterday, Lee. So he know how to check the ball down, right? So then he could have checked it down every other damn time if Broderick was rushing his ass. So stop trying to give him a pass. It's called check downs, and that's what he did all damn game. Check the ball down for 47 damn yards pass.
He really was.
Stop it.
Hey, you know what?
Crazy right now.
Marv,
wait. Damn game.
So wait a minute. Marv. To give Russell Wilson the benefit of the doubt, basically he has been in
that, man.
No. Wait, he has been in 3 different systems. It does take a while for a quarterback to get used to different systems, so you just can't.
He's a 35-year-old NFL veteran, Super Bowl winning damn quarterback. So
besides the point, though.
Ask you this: Do you think the Jets? Do you think the Cowboys with Dak Prescott? Do you think any of these damn quarterbacks that are making the money that they make? They have to get acclimated to a system. No, they are the damn system.
But no, but
right?
you just spoke on. No, wait a minute. So, but how long Dak been in Dallas though?
Absolutely. Dak's been in the same system. Aaron Rodgers, his offensive coordinator is the same system.
Thank you.
So I'm glad both of you just said that. So now what we're seeing is the reincarnation of Dak Prescott. Russell Wilson is now Dak Prescott 2.0, or should I say it reverse? Dak Prescott is Russell Wilson 2.0. Been in the system for going on 9 years and no Super Bowl wins and a lot of damn regular season wins. So I really appreciate you validating my point.
For those who keep calling for Justin Fields, I like Justin Fields. The young man needs a lot of work. You don't need another running back there. You need somebody that can go through his progressions and hit different receivers and make all the throws. I think eventually he will be a decent quarterback, but the Steelers can run the football. They can play good defense. They need Russell Wilson as their quarterback. And guys, don't take what you saw this preseason in the checkdowns. That's Russell Wilson coming off a calf injury, not getting hurt. They need a strong offensive line.
Let me make a point, Lee. Let me make a point. One of your best coaches on your list that you just named is coming back, won several NFC championships and made a Super Bowl appearance with a running back as a damn quarterback. So it is more about fitting the system. It is more about fitting a system around the talents of a quarterback, right? So that's what you're kind of telling me, because one of your best coaches made a Super Bowl and won plenty of NFC championships with a running back as a damn quarterback. Am I right or wrong?
No.
Or you gonna tell me Colin Kaepernick was a savant passing the football? Is that what you're gonna tell me?
Well, he can throw the football better than Justin Fields can right now. When he was at San Francisco, I'll say that right now. That's real talk. Look, guys, it's been a great show. We thank you. Please like, subscribe, tell a friend. This is how we do it. We're gonna come back to this Justin Fields, Russell Wilson thing because it's gonna play out right in front of our eyes. But please like, share, comment, subscribe. We need you guys to subscribe to the show and get your friends to subscribe as we're trying to build up our subscriptions. Fields will have to be the quarterback venting lines. I hear you. I disagree with that. I like Russell Wilson.
Hit that like button.
Like us, like this show so everybody can see it. And please subscribe. I'm Lee Jones. He's the Hall of Famer Marvin Orange. We had the man with us today. We're going to have to get him back on. Cash is our main guy behind the scenes. This is After the Buzzer Sports Podcast. We love you. Thank you for rolling with us. We'll see you next week.
Are we still alive? But yeah.
Yeah. We still live, so I can keep on talking a little bit about.
But